if somebody wanted to seek out to work with you or work for you, is that something that you even do, or something you don't do?
I'm always looking for like land, right? I'm looking for a developer who's going to be building something.
Sure.
Who has an end cap drive-through. Who, you know, where's the next shopping center going up? You know, who's
so we're looking for
there.
big money right now. You're looking like somebody with big money is watching you, saying this might be an opportunity.
They need product,
but land.
They need space.
You need but you need space to buy it, right? But they're going to sell it to you, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Lease it to you normally.
Yeah.
Oh, they lease it to you.
We would love to own, just because we want to have that generational mindset, and you know, why wouldn't you want to have your business, afford your real estate, and then you can sell off the business if you want and keep your real estate or whatever it is.
Somebody looking to sell is what I was interpreting.
Yeah.
But somebody looking that's trying to get rid of something.
Right now is like, if you have dirt, you're not selling it.
Yeah.
You're just trying to ground lease it. You're going to have somebody else figure out how to build a building on it and
make it work.
Where's that?
And then
go ahead.
So yeah, I mean, you're seeing ground lease numbers. You know, it's the rent that a typical drive-through is going to want to replace. You know, anywhere from, for a small spot, it's going to be $80,000 a year to, you know, I know of a spot that's going on the market for $150,000 a year that's probably overpriced. You know, but somebody at the end of the day has got to figure out how to make that business work.
Right.
It doesn't matter what the landlord wants.
It's a return on investment
opinion,
still, right?
I mean, I've worked for guys that like, I don't care. We need more rent out of this tenant. It's like,
Yeah.
well, they can't afford to pay anymore.
Right.
So it is a symbiotic relationship, and like there's a healthy rent threshold for that business. And yes, there's people that run businesses that they don't make money.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't be in business.
Right.
And that's unfortunate.
Right.
Not everything's a winner. You can't.
Yeah.
You know.
You can't flog a dead horse.
Sure. I mean, you could try.
Yeah. Well, you could, but you're not going to go
doesn't
anywhere.
get anywhere. You just get tired.
Yeah.
So you know, you really got to have like that understanding with the landlord, and you know, we've been working through all these. Working through all the COVID situation, and you know, I totally understand how businesses just stop paying rent.
Right.
Because,
so
you know,
about that,
like,
a friend,
you can't do business. Why would you pay rent?
A friend of mine has like done really. His dad was prolific in land in the 80s.
Sure.
Crushed it in Vegas. They have a lot of land, and they have a lot of restaurant leases and stuff. And like they had some Wendy's. They had a few Wendy's, and then you'd think Wendy's would be good, and they had the drive-through, and they got PPP, but he got a letter from corporate saying we're not paying our rent anymore. Right. And then they just did that to everybody.
Yeah,
because
Cheesecake Factory did the same thing.
Did they do the same thing?
And what are you going to do is, as a landlord,
you can't kick them out.
You've got this like extremely specific
a Cheesecake
space.
Factory.
It's going to be a cheesecake. What are you going to do? You're going to go in there and turn it into the
PF Chang's?
Yeah,
it's not going to happen, because you probably already have PF Chang's as a client as well.
Yeah, they all go to the same thing. It's like
it's a formula. It's a formula.
Exactly. You know, that client would, you know, is going to go there too, but it's a complete gut. You know, like the Miller's Ale House. You know, they're sitting there like they don't like at Town Square. They want somebody to come in there and change it from what it looks like now. The Miller's Ale House is like a very specific look.
Very specific, but good spot. But needs you know.
And that was an operational thing from what I understand. And they had their one lease kind of expire at Town Square, and then they just decided to operationally shut.
They let the other one in
Eastern.
Henderson.
Yeah, but you walk in there. I mean, it's turnkey, like ready to go.
Yeah.
You know, bring in your food and your employees, and
off you go.
You're good to go. And that's very hard to find. But you know, you're talking what $400,000 a year in rent. They got nervous.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my God, what am I going to do here? So it was much different than the last crash, where you know, people would pay their mortgages and stuff, and then they'd still get kicked out. So tenants are much different these days. They're a little bit smarter. They're going, wait a minute, you got to work with me, because like if you don't work, if I look around and nobody else is paying you, you know, you're gonna give this property back to the bank, and the bank's like, wait a minute, we don't really want to be real estate people either, so like let's work with you. So it became like a much more of a, you know, let's work together, let's figure this out as kind of a community, which was nice to see. I mean, it's unfortunate people lost businesses and, you know, their lives and everything as well.
Such is life.
Yeah, it's just it's just constantly changing and flowing. And
okay, we're going to end this segment. I want to talk with Larry over here. So we got a question on this board here that says, during the home buying process, and maybe Matt can jump in on this, when should the home inspection be completed? Before or after the appraisal? Larry, you got the stage,
Larry
buddy.
First.
You know, sometimes people make an appointment with us and they say, we want to wait until after our appraisal. I don't like that, because it's
bad plan.
It's crunching their due diligence time.
Yeah.
And with due diligence windows getting shrunk right now, not a good idea. Get the home inspection done. Get it back as fast as possible.
Right.
Sometimes you need a day or 2 or 3 to book the home inspection. You know, we're full.
So,
Everyone's so slammed.
So good. That's okay. So to caveat what Larry said, right? Do the inspection right away because it's done, and then you know what you're dealing with.
Right.
I even write in the offers now because I need to make my offers look more sexy than the other offers. And what is more sexy? More sexy is we will do the inspection within 24 hours. We'll order it within 24 hours. We will order the appraisal within 24 hours. And then I shorten the diligence period from 10 days to 7 days because it looks a bit better than 10 days. But then when we get the inspection report back, I don't hold off on the inspection, but I say to the listing agent, we're gonna address everything in one go once the appraisal's back in, because then if there's some stuff in the repair list for the inspection,
For sure, there's going to be stuff, right?
Yeah, but you can make a big deal out of it or not.
Right.
But even if you're not going to make a big deal out of it, if you have to do some, if you have to jerry rig the deal to like make it work, right? Get the duct tape out, fucking all that.
We're
shit.
not going to ask you to fix the water heater.
But what we'll do is we'll make a long list of we're being really nice to you. All this shit is wrong with the house, and it may be wrong or not, or we just be making a big deal out of it. But then you use the inspection to massage the deal through. But I would never delay the home inspection, because if there's something seriously wrong with the house that was never picked up, then you just wasted $550 on a appraisal.
Right. So a lot of customers come back to us a few days later with another inspection, and we just assume like, well, they didn't like that first house.
Right.
Yeah.
So we don't really have a horse in the race. We just write it
You
up
just
the way
wanna
we
do the
see it.
inspections.
We go, you know what? You got some structural damage here. You got roof tiles broken. You got a leaky water heater. They might want to just move on to the next property.
But I tell you what, one thing.
You guys put in multiple offers all the time,
but
right?
one thing I never do that, right, is because there's a problem. If you're ordering multiple home inspections, there's a problem with the buyer's agent or the buyer, because you shouldn't be ordering more than one home inspection if you're doing it properly, unless something's like really messed up with the house that was hidden. So I would say that if someone is spending multiple times anywhere from $350 to like $500 or $600 for a home inspection, then they're not doing it right, in my opinion. But who knows? And you're not complaining, obviously, because you're doing another inspection.
Sure. We don't know what their criteria is. Sometimes, you've run into all kinds of customers. Sometimes a deal killer is finding out that there's scorpions in the property.
Yeah.
Sometimes a deal killer is they're there and there's recess across the street at the elementary school and they can't stand with the noise of the children. So you never know. Sometimes they'll blame the home inspection for the reason that they're not going to do the deal.
Yeah.
But maybe has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
It sounds to me, in my book, that's poor show. But like, hey, what are you going to do? Like, you should know where the school is. You should know all this stuff.
Yeah.
You should know before you write the offer, and you should know before you order the inspection.
But have you met most people?
I met all my people, and here's the thing: is that I have to they come in, and I have to do a checkup from the neck up, and I take the trash out, and then we start with the clean slate. And I'm like, this is the best way to do it, and they understand. Whereas if you, as an agent, if you let your buyers run wild, then it's gonna hurt them and you.
Sure.
You have to it's like I always say, it's like landing a plane. You have to do like the right flight approach and have the right directions, and then you have to land the plane, and then the guy on the tarmac has to park it, right?
Right.
And so, a lot of the time I sense I don't work with everybody, because if I detect like craziness or unrealistic expectations, then I'll just tell them that I can't help you because I know what can be done. But it is tricky. But people are people.
Sure.
And
you don't control the other side of the transaction, so
not
you
at
don't know
all.
what's going on over there.
But I do, with my home inspections, I always tell them to leave the home inspector alone and just show up at the end if they're in town, just to have a quick talk through. Because, and then the other thing with home inspections is that there's good home inspectors and bad home inspectors. Some home inspectors will talk too much about small things that aren't really relevant and aren't going to impact the transaction. and then if they get in a buyer's ear, and then the buyer gets an unrealistic expectation that this like slight cracking on something is like bad, and then it blows the deal up, and then unfortunately that buyer remains homeless when otherwise, you know, if something does come up in the home inspection report, that's what we do the diligence for. If you do the home inspection within 24 hours, you've still got 10 days to get bids on stuff if there's small stuff that needs to be sorted out.
Right. So if you're pointing out a settlement crack in the ceiling, you have to
Totally
give it
normal.
the appropriate 50%
Level-
of the house has happened.
yeah.
So you can't make a big deal about that. So same thing with floor tiles. Same thing with roof tiles. Like you could come off the ladder and they say, "Oh, how was the roof?" And then you go,
It's pretty decent.
right,
One or two
right.
cracks.
You roll your eyes and you go, "Oh yeah, there's a couple of really
That's normal.
cracked tiles," and you can make a big deal about it. And now suddenly you can see the life draining out of the buyers, and the buyer's agent is like, you know,
We can sort that out.
Yeah. But or you could get off the ladder and you could say, and they say, "How's the roof?" And you go, "Wow, your roof is like 99.9% perfect.
Yeah.
There was one or two cracked tiles. Every tile roof we've ever been on has one or two cracked tiles. You should probably get those serviced." I said, "But man, this is really good shape for a 23-year-old roof. I didn't see any ceiling stains when I was in the attic."
That's the key thing.
Some glass is
like-
half full, right?
yeah, it's
we
like-
need transactions.
It's like you gotta break some eggs to make an omelette. It's like you may have a couple cracked tiles to do a deal and get a house done for a resale. It's the same thing but different.
Yeah, I just had a roofer at my house.
Yeah.
I don't have any roof leaks, but I had a tune-up. I'm like, "Hey, man, I probably got 3 or 4 tiles that need to be fixed up." Well, he found a couple more, and then he caulked around a couple of things.
Yeah, and you're good
it's
to go.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's every house in Vegas is this way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, too, you look at new homes, and I want to talk about this, and this will be our last question. But when you look at new homes and you're out there inspecting new homes, you do home inspections, and, you know, one of the things that I want to always ask is, are they building with the same materials? Obviously, you would think that they would advance, but is it the same materials or is it better materials in today's world with these new homes?
Well, I mean, you got wood. It's the same.
It's the same.
Pretty much. You got granite. We've got a lot of high-tech stuff out now.
Okay.
Today's homes are so much safer than they used to be.
Okay.
There are fire safety
Right.
issues, electrically
Right.
safe. I mean, they're really impressive.
Yeah.
So I think that the new homes are great. They're so expensive. It's crazy. You know, I mean, you need $500,000 basically to go out and look for your home.
Yeah.
So other than that, the crews that build them, they float around from Pulte to Toll Brothers to Richmond American.
Yeah.
You know, they're all the same people.
Yeah.
So you got to find yourself a good superintendent who's paying attention to your project.
What is some of the problems, most of the problems you see on new homes when you're inspecting them? What normally comes up? Because the builder's going to protect the builder. We know this. Like, they're not going to come out and be like, "Well, this wasn't done right, or this wasn't painted right, or this wasn't, the foundation's not there." What do you see that traditionally?
They're good at making sure the texture's okay and all the cosmetic stuff, but they have to beta test the house. Your customers, you don't want your customers to be the beta test, right? To be the first one to run a dishwasher and find out it leaks, to be the first one to open and close certain drawers and they interfere with each other. Even switching from AC to heat, sometimes it won't flip over appropriately.
Right.
We find these things all the time. I did a $1 million house up in Summerlin, and it was hot on one side, or cold on one side, and cold on the other side, where the hot water's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So and this is at the kitchen sink, and these guys were ready to close the deal like a few days later.
Yeah.
So they had some work to do.
So explain let's explain what a master home inspector is versus a regular home inspector.
So 99% of the home inspectors here in town are residential inspectors, and that's what you call to get your house done. And if you have something big or special and you need something bigger than 10,000 square feet, you can call a general, which is a higher level inspector, or a master. And so they've gone through a certain set of criteria that enables them. They've been approved by the state to do basically unlimited size. Like I've done the Harley Davidson Cafe on Las Vegas Boulevard.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I just did 72,000 square feet of commercial
How much do you
office
charge
space.
for an inspection of the Harley Davidson
Oh,
place?
it's thousands.
Yeah, because that's a big building.
It was huge. 2 commercial kitchens.
Oh, the kitchen, the Harley Davidson restaurant. Oh, I was thinking about where they sell the Harley Davidsons, the cafe.
Oh, those places are huge too. But we've done buildings that big.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We've done. I mean, some of our
What's
inspections
happening
are
to that Harley
many
Davidson
thousands.
place now?
It's
Is
a
it still
Mexican
open?
restaurant right now.
It's a Mexican
Yeah.
restaurant. Yeah.
Thank you for watching an episode of the French Workbench podcast. If you want to tune into past episodes, please subscribe to my channel now. Also, if you want to look at our audio-only options, we do have iTunes and SoundCloud.